What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G, and welcome to part 2 of my Arknights Absolved Will Be the Seekers Chapter 14 playthrough. We're going to dive in here and pick up right where we left off last time. And I'm excited because the beginning of that so far was really interesting and really crazy. And there was a lot of dialogue, a lot of character interaction, and a lot of different characters playing parts and playing roles in this part of the story. And I find that really interesting and really cool. Now, again, keep in mind the fact that, as I'd stated in the first episode, I haven't played the entire main theme up to this point yet. So there are some things that I only know the gist of and understand what's going on because of those. But from what I've played so far, there's not a lot that really has me super confused. There's a few things, yes, but I'm reserving those because I'll learn it later. I'll learn it for sure because I'm going to continue, playing through the main theme and putting those episodes out there here in the future for you guys. But for now, I'm definitely enjoying this and I cannot wait to dive in further. I'm hoping this has a really awesome continuation and it just continues to build from here. And from the sounds of things and from what I've seen, I think we're definitely in store for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in to part 2 here and get started. All right, so I'm going to kick things off with a quick poll here. Let's go ahead and do that. And it's a 3-star.
I'm Cruz.
Already did my daily headhunt, which I got a 4-star, and I can't remember who it was to save the life of me. I want to say it was Rope, but that's all right. Got a whole bunch of tokens here that I got to exchange. Wow, that puts me way up there. It's incredible. I can get a lot of resources this way, though. Oh, do I have Irene on this account? No. There's a special headhunting here for the Colonel. What if I take advantage of that? Let's get one. Let's get that one just for fun. Even though it's a different banner, we're going to do this. Who can we grab that I don't have yet? Ones that I want for collection purposes. Let's go with Kobe and Silver Ash. And then I don't have Franca, so I do need to grab her. Of all these, I need to increase my potential on Texas, and I think I'm gonna grab Spectre since I don't have her yet. Let's go with that, and let's roll this just to see what happens. 6-star. All right, let's see if we get one of the two that I don't have, and it's near the end.
Hello, Doctor.
Totter.
I'm Totter. Long-range sniping's my specialty.
Okay. Matoi Maru. So it was 8th position.
Hello.
Myrrh. That's 3.
An herbalist. Dr. Calcit gave me this title. I'm Vanilla.
4's Vanilla.
Training operator from Blacksteel. Looking forward to. The name's
Rope.
Nice to meet you. Oh, here's your ID card.
Hello, Doctor.
Totter again.
I'm Totter. Long-range sniping's my specialty.
Pine cones, the next one should be it. Here we go. If it's one of the two that I just picked, I don't have those on my other account either. Kobe! Let's go!
They call you Doctor, right? My name is Kobe. But
Kobe.
if that's too hard to say, you can also call me Kay.
God, she has
here from now on.
She has such an adorable voice. I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't have her on my other account. Every time this comes up, these have been the last 2 that I've been picking on the Colonel Selector on that account because I don't have them yet. So that's really cool that I finally have her on one of the accounts. I definitely have wanted her. So that's a good thing. But now let us continue. Ooh, interesting. And I haven't spent any of this yet, which is fine. I want to save up and I want to get seen. I want to get this skin for Siege, but I also want to grab these permits, these headhunting permits to use. But for now, let's go into 14-5. And keep in mind, guys, too, before we continue, I do have over my 300 certs for this main banner, for the Wis'adel banner. So I've already got her, I've already got Logos, and the two choices that I want are either Texas the Omertosa or Mulesies. I mentioned that in the last episode, so make sure to put in the comments who you think I should grab. Both of them have been incredibly helpful on my main account and are operators that I keep in my team. They're permanent members of my main squad over on that account. I can obviously use through support, whichever one I don't get whenever I need them, but I definitely want to grab one of those two. I even put up a thing, a poll on my X account, and it was only for a day, and so far I've got 3 votes for Texas, none for Mulesies, so we'll see. If I don't happen to pull one of them by the time this banner is done, then I have to choose between the two, but if I pull one of them, I'm obviously going to spend the certs on the other. Anyways, here we go. Abandoned mansion, Londinium outskirts. Is she back? Not yet. Damn, it was hard enough dodging those devils. How did she survive and even find us? How the heck did she know that I did business with the devils? Well, consider that business deal lost. What about you? How'd she get you? She owed a crossbow to my head. I knew her from before. She didn't used to be so... what? Go on. No, I didn't... The soldier, who has served the dukes all his life, lies on the ground, a crossbow pointed at his forehead. The voice of the one holding the crossbow is as cold as ice. I'm waiting. Sorry, Milscar. I shouldn't have... Ah! The bolt pierces his ear. Ooh, hello. Some people punch holes in their pets' ears as a sign of ownership. A man is not a pet, of course. But sometimes they're not so different, are they? Now get back up and give me a status report. Have you done what I've asked of you? Yes, ma'am. Well, the reception at the monitoring station was really bad, so even though we tried to gather as much information as possible, skip to the conclusion. Based on what little information the Trilby Asher left behind and the occasional intercepted comms, we can confirm that a unit called the Exemplars has been formed, and its leader is most likely the one you spoke of. Vina. They seem to be headed for the front at Silver Rock Bluffs. Silver Rock Bluffs. They're really staying in this war. Keep at it. Notify me of any new developments. Yes, ma'am! Phew. Well, this is easier than expected. I thought it would be tougher. No scruples. No axe to put up. I found Victoria. A red light flashes a few times in the deep shadows. Isn't it your job to protect her? Okay. 43 hours into the operation. I knew you would come. Ursula. That Mad Bomber W came once to set up this prison. Inez came twice to show compassion. Same old Inez, always a tad slow with her retort, and she's focused on someone else's shadow. Now it's you. What have you come to say? Have you thought it over? That's my line. Your situation is perilous. Your only vehicle lies disabled. As the pilot, I'm very likely to know something that you don't, and probably am waiting for the right time to strike. Really, you should kill me, HOEDERER. I would rather you helped us with what you know. In your dreams. I already turned you down once. Give me too little credit if you think I would change my mind just because I'm a prisoner. 3 times. What? You saved our lives 3 times back in Casdell. My life once, Inez's life twice. You wrote all that in your diary. Name your price. I'll do my best to pay it. You'll go bankrupt if you quit the mercenary life to open a business. I just want as many Sarkaz to make it back to Casdell alive as possible. Such grand ambitions. But enough chit-chat. Let the old rules of Scar Market lie buried beneath Casdell. Our debt is settled. One last warning, HOEDERER. Kill me now or you'll regret it. Did it ever occur to you that we both want the same thing? Enough of your righteous crap. Don't try to buy my life with your flowery words, old friend. They're not much better than money. A mercenary takes no sides, but you and I aren't really mercenaries anymore. Want to bet, Inez? HOEDERER's gonna try talking Ursula into helping for old time's sake at Scar Market. Ursula's gonna tell him to get it over with, and HOEDERER's gonna come back with a long face. What's the wager? That's it? I figured you'd be jealous with the two of them all alone in a room together. W. Stop trying to read my shadow, Inez. I'm not in the mood. The Bunny and the Victorian have been gone for a while. Wonder how things are going out there. Bonesy is still playing dead, and Theresa's catastrophe refuses to go away. Who knows? Maybe Manfred's gonna pop out of nowhere. Just pop out of nowhere. I could have blown Theresa's up right there, right then and there. I know you're restless because of Teresa, but hold that fuse for a moment. We have a lot of prep work to do. Shit, who said I was... We've got a problem, W. Out with it. It's time for a shift change, but not all our scouts came back. Crane's team went off to the north side of the canyon, and we can't reach them. Don't tell me they ran into a decent enemy caster. When was your last communication? Almost 3 hours ago. If our enemy could make an entire Merc squad disappear without a sound, they would have been on top of us by now. The most important thing to do at this moment is to keep the lifebone safe. We're just gonna sit here when we know something's going on outside? I agree with Inez. We know nothing about this place. The safest course of action is to concentrate our forces. Cut the crap! My men are missing! I want to know why! If they got lost, I'll bring them back. If somebody did them in, I'll return the favor. Calm down. This could be a trap to split us up. I don't like playing defense. Even if it's a trap, I'll just blast them out of hiding. Give me half a day. If I don't come back, that means I'm up against a real nasty piece of work. Don't come after me. Get your defenses ready. If you get a call from Mommy and don't wait for me, just activate the lifebone. I'll take my own squad. No need to bother anyone else. You lot, grab your weapons and follow me. Is this where they went? Should be. This cave, all we saw when we went north into the canyon. This cave was all we saw when we went north into the canyon. We don't know what's inside. Hidden passage, the court's secret cache. If this was a secret base of the royal court, we'd have had a couple hundred vampires and gnashers on our asses the moment we fell in here. Based on Closure's intel, we're in the hills to the west of Londinium, a good distance from the main battlefield where those old farts are. Somehow, though, I smell the old moldy stench from someone who's been here for ages. I don't like old stuff, but I'm sure HOEDERER would love it. Let me guess, what enemy did our lucky winners run into? W, when did you use your bombs? Delusional? Did you see me use them on our way here? Then what are these burn marks on the wall? Huh? Strange. No sign of arts, but how do you leave marks like these on stone then? Did you hear that? What is it this time? It's the sound of someone striking iron. There's somebody here. You're just hearing things. Stop spooking yourself. Nobody's here. Do we keep going, W? I have a bad feeling about this. Of course. Why do you think we're here? That's top-grade gear you're all using. I'm not rich enough to just let them rot in some cave. Have you heard the Sarkaz legend before? Before Chilon was even born, the Sarkaz and a red dragon. Shut up. One historian and HOEDERER is enough. Say any more and I'll throw you out to the front. What is it? Blood. But not Sarkaz. It's fresh. Get ready to fight! Ooh, what the hell? Oh, okay, I remember fighting this thing. Okay, never mind. Alright, I know what they look like. Oh, here we go. That was actually pretty quick for an intro. Eek. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff here.
Never end.
Thus I speak.
Put her there.
Waiting for your morning star. the illumination of wisdom.
Oh, I screwed up already. Really? Yep, I did. I should have put somebody on the ground. Actually, maybe should have just put... What's this face out?
Reboot the system to proceed.
Maybe... Wait a second. Okay. Let's do this again. I need somebody on the ground. Is there a room back here that's not touched by the Originium? Yes. I got a Pookie there.
You people, I don't think I'll even remember your faces after this one.
I need somebody like him out.
Let's just get started.
He doesn't get touched by that, so... We can put that guy there, even though he gets affected. It's not really going to bother much.
Follow me.
Alright, Suzie does a great job. Perfect. We're going to put her there.
Ready to move. This hunt has dragged on for too long.
Now, ignite.
Her there. Because she handles them pretty well.
For them,
Logos like that.
I wasn't supposed to ask. Clear skies for tuning, rain clouds for blue.
Wow, looks awfully dangerous. You call me out for this?
She's such a smartass, and I love it.
Ready to move.
22, 20.
Revenant's back.
So, the fairy of the other side.
Where do you wish to this endless burn? You need an air.
Oh, whoa! He got my Wis'adel? Wis'adel, I gotta get that right.
Still soaking yourself.
Let her handle that, no
Ready to
problem.
move. This hunt has dragged on for too long.
Flesh and bone bear weeds,
Random, but
mounds and ruins bloom fields.
oh yeah.
I'll be careful. Got it.
You want my opinion? Conviction will throw you off.
Not bad.
I am double.
Not bad. Once I built that backside there, we weren't in danger the way we were before. Ugh. Strange howl. Our weapons don't work! This thing just won't die! Aim for its head! We'll see how many hits it can take! It's too fast! We can't hit it! Draw its attention! I'll try to hit it from behind! The mercenary attempts to go around the monster, but one swing of its tail sends him slamming into a rock wall. Well, that didn't work. None of the attacks seem to have caused any real damage. It flaps its wings and scorching winds engulf the cave, making the air even thinner. The ground quakes and the spikes erupt from under the earth, hurtling towards everyone. Shut up! I said shut it, you short-legged moth! Song-like cry. The monster immediately locks onto where the damage came from, surprisingly agile for its size. In the brief time it takes W to reload, the monster has already closed the distance, its fangs nearly grazing her face. I don't know how you got that ugly mug, but you'll need a bigger one to eat me! Chew on this instead, sucker! Is it dead? Hard to live with a big hole in its face, eh? Are you okay? I've always been good at blast control. I got a theory, W. There might just be a lost Sarkaz corp called Bomb Fiend or something, and you're its last princess. Haha, very funny. What the hell is this? Doesn't look like any animal I've ever seen. I've heard that some of those Colombian crazies sew parts of different animals together. Maybe this is their doing. Unfortunately, I know a bunch of Sarkaz crazies who do the same thing. It reeks of witchcraft. Confessarius monsters? Why out here in the middle of nowhere? Them being here is no coincidence. Must be something else in the cave. this thing eat our guys? The only way to find out is to cut it open. We're sure it's dead, right? Oh shit, there's more! Run! Get out of there! Damn, this thing had friends! They've blocked the entrance! What do we do? Run! Get out of there! 48 hours into the operation. That's 2 days. They said 3. What time is it? Would it mean anything to you? Call it a professional habit. I feel better when I know what time it is. 6 p.m. 2 days since we crashed into the canyon. 2 days. Enough to do a lot of things. Do you remember, HOEDERER? The 3 of us were on a mission to steal Sargonian Pasha's treasure. We got the treasure, but also 100 or so people on our tails. We hid in a cave for 2 whole days. We were starving, but we were too afraid to light a fire to leave. It was Inez who stitched up your wounds. You wouldn't have made it otherwise. Ha! I said the sun's almost up. Just let me bathe in the sun for a little bit and I'll feel much better. I must have stopped you. There were enemies outside. We couldn't risk exposing ourselves. No, you didn't stop me. Inez teased me. She found it hilarious that a Scar Market merc would miss the sun. Sure, the Scar Market is under Wis'adel and never sees the sun. I became the pilot of this skeleton when I joined the military commission staff as a major. When I took the young ones back and forth between Wis'adel and Londinium, it was like we had to outrun the sun. I can't go back. None of the Sarkaz can. Ursula. What's going on? They're here. The skeleton is moving? For a moment, the Farinwood skeleton seems to be moving, but HOEDERER soon realizes it was not the nerve clusters or bones that are moving. Nails. The ship and pilot have always been one. Lifebone is never merely composed of the Farinwood skeletons. Rows of long nails are fixed to the massive frame, assembling it into a transport ship. One of them, infused with her arts, pierces through the critical section of the spinal column. She and the skeleton have always linked by witchcraft. The arts of the Royal Court's casters have connected to the skeleton. I can sense it. No need to be anxious. It's not going to wake up yet, but this little bit of connection and what remains of the Farinwood's powers on this nail are enough for me to get out of here. This nail belongs to me. It's linked to my bones. I'm taking it with me. What happens when a Farinwood's powers are applied directly to the human body? It's not so bad to cut loose once in a while, just like the old days. The spine is cracking! No! I told you, HOEDERER, you'll regret not killing me. Or would you say that this is just another inevitable chapter of history? HOEDERER thrusts his giant sword into the space of the missing nail, barely in time to hold the critical section in place. But even this fleeting moment is enough for the prisoner to escape her chains. Ursula leaps through a crack in the ribs, disappearing into the fire, along with bone and damaged nerve tissue. Ursula! Ursula, the hero drifting among the shards of history, always trying to save others. Have I ever told you that the name suits you better? Ooh. How many of them are there? It's a dead end ahead! I wasn't planning to escape from the front. I just needed space for my bombs. Get down! Or are they dead? Let's hope the rocks I brought down were enough to crush their skulls. What are they doing here? Are they protecting something? How am I supposed to know? Do you seriously believe I can talk to monsters? Ahem. So, I guess we really did find something incredible. It's too bad Crane's team got eaten by these things. Not all of us. You're alive! What the hell happened? We found a cave on patrol and decided to check it for any potential secret passages. That's when we ran into those monsters. Tire, Buckler, and Nut got eaten. The rest of us ran for our lives. For some reason, the monsters wouldn't come this way, but we couldn't get out either, so we were stuck here until you showed up. Bloody hell! I'll skin those things and have Inez make clothes out of them. What did you find inside? Not much. I've left markers on the way if you want to see for yourself. Go that way, pass a few masked bodies, and take the right fork. Masked bodies? A few skeletons that have been here for years. Must have run away from Londinium a few years ago. Strange thing is, they all cut their own horns off. Masked bodies. Severed horns. Their heads were all wrapped up. Maybe some tribal tradition? No, assassins. Shit! Either you're going crazy or I am. Old enemies? Don't worry, they're very dead. Take me there now. They're the, if their heads are wrapped up and they cut off their horns, they're the Death Veil assassins. This is the place. What's the matter, W? I've never seen you like this before. Shut up! Several bodies lean against the wall. W bends down and examines them meticulously. Yep. There's nothing left but bones. All death by severe injuries, no question about that. Looks like someone tended to their bodies after death. Maybe they're friends, but it's been years judging by the dust. There's a small altar in the corner. No sign of witchcraft, so I think it's purely for memorial purposes. Are these all of them? Why would these assassins be here? Only these, no others? What do you mean? Are they supposed to be others? Are there supposed to be others? W! Hey, W! What is it this time? What's going on? Assassins? She said these were assassins? W, wait up! We checked the surrounding areas. There's nothing else suspicious. I recognize their outfits. These traitors. They should all have been dead by now. If they're here, that means... No, this can't be. That's ridiculous. W, I heard Her Highness Teresa's body was stolen from Babel. Don't ask me. How am I supposed to know? The next time Teresa appeared after the attack on Babel was in Londinium. We're close to Londinium. Shut up! I know that! What do we do now? Should we? Go back and tell Inez to be on maximum alert. She'll take care of the rest. As for me, I'm going to clean up loose ends. Oh, interesting. Is this is flashing back to stuff that ties into the short film, the CG short film that's on YouTube. You can go to the Arknights YouTube and watch it, but it's the Daggers and Heritors. This is meaningless, mercenary. I see no reason for us to fight. The war is over. Whether we live or die is inconsequential to this outcome. You don't get to talk about meaning. Her blood is still on your hands. You and your accomplices. Anyone's still alive. I'll find all of you. You can run and you can hide, but I'll find you and I'll tear you apart bone by bone. I know my sins better than anyone. I would have ended my own life even if I hadn't run into you today. Go on, do it, if it quells your worthless anger. But you're too late, mercenary. You couldn't save her. Shut the fuck! I've made many mistakes in my life, but on this one thing, there's no way I could have erred. I killed all the traitors. I remember exactly how each one died, even the expressions on their faces as they went. Why did these scums die here? Calcit said the Confessari resurrected her. Why did they need a living, breathing Teresa? Is there more to it than Theresa's plans for the leadership of the Sarkaz? Theresa's, Confessari, I couldn't care less about whatever schemes you're plotting. But you desecrated someone you should never have, which is why I'll kill you all if it's the last thing I do. Just what the hell is this place? What's this door doing here? Out of my way! Oh, wow. Look at all the altars and stuff. What the heck is this? A strange sight indeed. The narrow passage opens to a vast shadowy cavern, untouched by sunlight. The chilling cave is strewn with dusty weapons and armor. The space is dotted with bizarre crystals, massive patterns reminiscent of eerie symbols, stretched ominously from the walls down to the ground. W is overcome by an unsettling sensation, as though it is not she who gazes upon the vast underground structure, but the other way around. Clank. A blunt sound echoes through the cave. Clank, clank. W recognizes it as the sound of bones being crushed by a heavy object. What the hell? Who goes there?
We may have achieved
Weird.
a perfect victory, but we still can't let our guard down.
Bones being crushed. Ooh, is this where she's gonna find her equipment? Hidden Front is now available. Ooh, that's interesting. We'll get to play around with that. We'll play around with that soon. I still gotta go back and do some of that with my other account to clear all the paths for that. But I got 2 of them, I think, done. We'll get there. Paprika! Paprika! Hey, stay still! Let's run for it. What are you talking about? Haven't you noticed? The mercenaries under that W are all gone. Military Commission's troops must have arrived. All the more reason to not run around and get caught in the crossfire. Don't forget it was the Military Commission that hired us. If they've come, it's curtains for the guys here. If we make a run for it now, we could still explain things to General Manfred. You want to go back to him? He'll just send you back to Victoria to kill more people. Is that what you want? You think we have a choice? What do you think the General will do to us when he finds out that we surrendered? I'll run errands if they tell me to run errands, and I'll kill if they tell me to kill. Whatever it takes to survive. You want to stay, that's your choice. I'm going. Goodbye. I think you ran in the wrong direction, buddy. 50 hours into the operation. Ooh, her again. Aren't you the lucky one, Major Ursula? It's not every day that you get to lose a critical objective, be captured by the enemy, and still make it back in one piece. Looks like you got along well with your old Scar Market buddies. Watch your tone, Nasher. It's not your place to judge my failure. Regardless of circumstances, Major Ursula's survival is good news for the Military Commission. General Manfred, I know about the Sanguinarch's death. You can explain later. As for now, I hope you've returned with something of value. I have the skeleton's location and details about the mercenaries guarding it. That's all. Sounds like it would have been more worth it if you had stayed in the hands of those mercenaries. I want to hear what you think. The mercenaries are trying to reawaken the Farinwood skeleton. Whatever their plans are, it has something to do with them. I don't know what they're plotting, but they don't have a lot of people guarding the skeleton for some reason. Is HOEDERER among them? Yes. Surround the canyon. Take back the spine, no matter the cost. Yes, sir. General Manfred, for the upcoming battle... You won't be needed. Stay in the rear. Yes, sir. As a precaution, may I ask, what are your plans if we're unable to take back the skeleton quickly? I don't enjoy such hypotheticals, Ursula. Manfred's troops are here. They're a little earlier than expected. What about the Royal Court's men? Nothing from Ursula. She got away. It's my fault. We'll talk about this later. Where's W? She went out to scout the battlefield. Worst case scenario, she'll run into the enemy before we do. If Ursula got back to Manfred, they may have information on our current location and defenses. We're significantly outnumbered. A prolonged fight doesn't favor us. It's been 50 hours since Doctor's team set out. Any news? Nothing. We have to hold out until the agreed time. Given our odds, the only way to hold off the Military Commission for a day is if we were struck by a catastrophe. But as things stand, even catastrophes are at their command. The Military Commission won't let this weapon fall into our hands and threaten their aerial supremacy. They'll come at us with everything we have. We'll have to take the chance. What do you mean? The chance that Manfred doesn't want to destroy the skeleton either. I hope you really know Manfred as well as you think you do. One last question. What happens if we don't get word from the Doctor when the agreed time has passed? Then we abandon the skeleton. There's no point fighting to the death. Evacuation comes first. Our main priority is always to keep as many people alive as we can. Reasonable. No objections. There's another way that might delay the Royal Court's attack. Killing their commander. Ascalon. Agreed. I'll kill him. It's freezing. I don't want to admit it, but I can feel my heart race. Damn, stop trembling. It's just like that time when I had to face Tallulah alone. No, even worse. This strange figure must be the master of those monsters in this realm, yet I sense no hostility from him. It's as if my presence is not worth his attention. He just keeps hacking at the crystallized bones with his axe, without even looking my way. Did he kill all these people? I have my finger on my trigger, but I can't move an inch. Pull yourself together, W. Haven't you seen your fair share of monsters by now? Find out who he is and what this cavern has to do with Teresa. Pry it out of his mouth if that's what it takes. All right, I don't have time to waste on you, you sorry piece of wood. I have a few questions, and your answers will decide whether my next move is to throw bombs at your face or not. This is a confessorius altar. Are you a confessorius? Clank, clank. The relentless and haunting sound of axe striking bone echoes through the cavern, as if carrying the weight of Eris Forgotten. He slowly opens his mouth to speak. I am a servant of Wis'adel, the king of Sarkaz. Wis'adel. I don't know how to pronounce that. I didn't look that up. I forgot to. The bloodline of the king preserves through life and death. If he who serves the king of Sarkaz is a confessorius, then a confessorius I am. So you can't talk. I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself before I shoot. What is this place? What does it have to do with the confessori? Qua lidkoa. The key. But this key opens no door. Not anymore. Now I am merely the warden of this deep, dark tomb. What are you talking about? A tomb? For who? The countless heroes of Kazdal and the foes who died at their hands. The Gravebearer, the Magnificent Eight, the Brave 11. All have fallen in the course of history, and I have buried many of them. Here lies their weapons and armor, remnants of the past. You must be joking. You knew all those people? Don't tell me you're as ancient as that old hag. I don't know why you old freaks keep clinging to the past. Are you going to let yesterday's bad jam stop you from eating today? Okay, I need to workshop that. Many emerged from that epoch of heroes, becoming the new hope of the Sarkaz time and time again. But all of them failed, joining the ashes and dust in this tomb. You stand upon the sword of Shilon, the wrathful cerulean flame. Theresis left it here because he refused to use it. Still, it is not proper to step upon it. Shilon? Isn't he a character in myths and legends? You're not playing me for a fool, are you? Damn, I took a step back without even realizing it. Why should I believe him, and why shouldn't I step on Shilon's sword, even if it was real? I have answered your questions. Now you shall answer mine. Why do you trespass upon this place? Clank. The axe swings again. The shockwaves almost makes W take another step back. I'm here to pick a fight with the confessori. What's that altar used for? Tell me or else. The mission of this altar has ended. No one visits this place anymore, except fools who stumble upon it. Oh, I just noticed he has an eye there. Anyways, the strange fellow answered all my questions with flat interest. Clearly, he'd rather return to his work with the axe than engage with me. I've lashed out at him, but my anger was met with no response. It's like throwing stones into a bottomless pit. What did he mean? He's not with the confessori? Shouldn't he have come after me with this axe the moment the words left my mouth? Hey, I'm talking to you! Yeah, he's got an eye there. I didn't notice that. The smoke clears, but the gaunt figure remains upright. I didn't think I could take him out with a single bomb, but seriously, not even a scratch? Futile. This vessel will never change again. A failed vessel that has been denied both eternal life as the instrument of the crown's coming, and the sweet release of death. So you're one of the confessori's failed experiments, too. You feel bad for yourself? I could free you from your suffering. It is but futile. The man swings his stone axe and bats away W's bomb, as though swatting away a fly. Good, I got a response from him. That means there's a chance. 3, 2... The bomb falls exactly where I expected it to. A section of the cavern collapses, trapping him beneath, but not enough to kill him. I point my gun at his head. You said the confessori made you indestructible. Let's see if I can blow a hole in your brain at this range. Confessori like their experiments, don't they? Did you guys make those big head moths? Disgusting den of monsters. Cut the poetry and answer my questions. Did you know Teresa? The exiled one has had the honor of seeing that king of Sarkaz. This is where the tragic king was reborn. This is the place. How did they do it? The confessori brought the king's bloodied body back. and cut her soul from the myriad. But she was already entwined within the myriad and could no longer exist as herself. W turns around toward the altar in the center of the cavern. The menacing building looks unnerving and smells faintly of blood. What had happened here? Dare not think about it, but I can't stop myself. Why? The present of Sarkaz needed her to die. The future of Sarkaz needed her to live. As the king of Sarkaz, she gave her all. Her spirit and her wisdom. Her blood and her bone. You followed the king's path as her former subject, but she is no longer the one you knew. I saw her awakening, the sorrow on her face. I saw the weight of her soul, her eternal torment. Enough! Shut up! She was a sacrifice to the myriad souls, to Kazdal, to all the past and future Sarkaz. I said shut up! Explosion. Go boom. I've had enough. Kelsa, Dr. Theresis, all of you. All of you have your big dreams and ambitions. Talk about doing great things. But did it change anything in the end? People keep dying. And the people who should die, the people who shouldn't, and the people who really shouldn't. And you won't even let her have her final rest. To hell with the myriad souls and the suffering of the Sarkaz. Why should a person have to bear all this burden? All of you could go to hell. I'll blow this place. Place of her desecration to oblivion. Dust fills the entire cavern. The decrepit ornaments lie in ruins, yet the explosions are not enough to quench her anger. In the deepest reaches of the cavern, a lone altar resembling a door remains. What is this? Your Highness? W pushes the door open. Ooh, interesting. Field of vision. Okay.
Direct memory access for
interesting.
application now. And enemy coordinates authorized. Please stand by.
Stay safe, everyone.
Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
Please, trust in me.
Okay. I should have pulled him one backwards. That would have been a better idea, but that's alright.
Thus I speak.
I'm prepared. Fear not the firelight.
Ready to move. This hunt has dragged on for too long.
I hear the Abbe, the curtain of destiny.
Crash the mission briefing. I know what you want.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we don't want to... Take him out, Dubs, please.
Spring breeze, timely.
Always so focused on the ground. But have you forgotten to look above?
Oh, wow, that, randomly took her out. Alright.
Branch and bone.
It's alright. We're good, we're good, we're good.
Mounds and ruins bloom fields.
Ready to move.
I'll be careful.
I'm prepared. This endless burn. You needn't care.
We got 8 to go. Why'd that dude just like walk into death pretty
I
much?
hear the morning star, the illumination of wisdom.
Watch out for fires.
Last one. There we go. Okay. found you. Crazy. You're crazy, just like they said. I'm glad you already know. And you must also know what I do to those that won't tell me what I want to know. Now talk! What are you people planning around Casdell? What's behind this overly simple operation? Don't act like I'm stupid, just because I don't care about all the ins and outs of the Theresa's giving up Casdell. You didn't break free of my witchcraft. How long did you think you can last? Until you beg for death on your knees and spit out everything you know. Huh. Mercenary. You think you're the special one that gets to live? Everyone does until death finally comes for them. Death forgets no one. The myriad souls are waiting. You won't escape and neither will she. It's all futile. What about you? Me. I'm happy to embrace my death. Say goodbye to weakness, Sarkaz. A new era has dawned. It belongs to us. Even if there's no place for me in us. W, your hand! Medic! We need a medic over here! Damn, he triggered the grenade! With the Sarkaz's death, his arts cease. The mire fades and the stench of decay dissipates. Yet, why does the wilderness around them remain so dark? A sense of unease deepens. The expression on the Sarkaz warriors as they died was one of devotion. Why would such an expression appear on the faces of men like them? Were you able to get in touch with HQ? Intra-squad communication has been partially restored. Heavy interference still prevents us from reaching headquarters, though it's possible that originium activity is spreading in the area. No need to worry, though. We haven't heard about any attacks on HQ, unless they have Her Highness and the Doctor there. We're one step away from winning this war. Where's the vehicle? We're going back now. But we haven't received further instructions. We could upset the Doctor's plans if we move without orders. Wait, I'm getting a message. It's from Scout. Scout says... That's when they got the news, isn't it? Yep. Babel was merely a temporary refuge, no different from the countless others before, or so W had believed. True, there was always clean food and water. The badly wounded were not just left to die, and there were a few interesting guys around. But at the end of the day, it was all the same, just a place to stay. It was not the first time W had lost her home before she joined up with HOEDERER and Inez. Sometimes she would return to camp and find it in flames. Sometimes she was the one who set it on fire. It was what she used to do, what she was used to. No Sarkaz truly believes in peace and quiet. Destruction was the norm. Conflict was the spice of life. But when she saw the collapsed columns, the bloodstains in the corridors, and the doctors yelling instructions, for the first time, she felt a profound sense of collapse. What happened? Medic. Or a medic. Out of the way! Out of the way! Make way for the wounded! Make room in the sickbay! Out of the way! Where's Her Highness? No idea. All security systems has failed. Dr. Calcidus, look out! Did you do this? Sarkaz, it's over. Don't say that! Now I see. Her blood was no different from ours. You! Everything turns dark once more, like a curse that refuses to lift. Darkness engulfs the light, consuming it completely. No one can escape the night. The war is over, along with its strife. Listen, Sarkaz, victory belongs to... Ugh. A blade penetrates the assassin's chest. Babel didn't give you any orders, W. What are you doing here? You want to talk about me violating orders now? Ascalon looks at her. W had worked with Ascalon for a while now, but this was the first time she saw that look on her face. That look in her eyes. She did not even know that Ascalon was capable of such sorrow. Is what Scout said true? You shouldn't have come back. Not now. Where's Her Highness? Sweep the ship, W. Rhodes Island is not out of danger yet. Dr. Calcid is busy dealing with emergencies. We're the only ones. I'm asking you, where is Teresa? Go to the mobility level. That's the most likely point of entry. Are you bloody deaf? You said she's dead. I want to see it with my own eyes. Listen to me, Sarkaz Mercenary W. Fulfill your duty unless you want Babel to fall and all her effort to be for naught. Huh. You're worthless. All of you worthless. Why did I ever trust you? Why did I ever believe that you could... Nothing's changed. Nothing ever did. All high and mighty, are they not? Everyone on this ship. Didn't they spend all their time talking about their dreams and their lofty ideals? And why couldn't they even protect one person? All the things they've said, all the things that I thought it could be. I was the fool who believed. I saw it. The blood and footprints in the chairman's room. There was nothing else left. It was like nothing was ever there. Darkness was thick and sticky. It always was. Teresa's dead, and I didn't even get to see her one last time. Your Highness, what are you doing here? The door's still... When did it get fixed? Guess closure's good for something after all. The old hag, too. Rhodes Island stayed together barely after you were gone. She did her best. So did the little bunny. I did my part, too. I wanted to see you again ever since I got to Londinium. I've wondered when I could. I never understood. Why did you always put yourself through so much? Just like how I never understood why you cared so much about that broken door. Teresa's gone. What? And who's standing right there? No, I must be dreaming. Why would Her Highness talk to me? Am I talking to myself? But the work of the Sarkaz is not done. I will give myself to our cause, for a future where all of us can sleep without fear. I don't understand, but I believe you. What about you, then? Teresa turns around and pushes the door. It opens. Teresa walks through the door, followed by countless silhouettes, their voices booming, their questions piercing. The Sarkaz will never be saved. No one can escape suffering, for we had once suffered. No one can escape hatred, for we had once hated. All the senseless deaths, all the shattered hopes, where is paradise, where is peace? Teresa's steps are slow and heavy. W opens her mouth. What should she say? What could she say? She finally realizes that it was not a conversation she had just experienced, but an echo of Teresa. But she could not resist asking the shadow, "How can I save you, Your Highness, if you're still alive?" "Keep going. You will go further than I ever have." "How will I know if I've gone far enough? If I killed you, will you be saved?" There is no answer. Teresa does not turn back, neither do the silhouettes. Your footsteps are slow, but their direction remains unwavering. Teresa walks further into the light, almost out of sight. "Your Highness!" W finally lets out what she's been holding back. "Screw the myriad souls, screw their sufferings. I'll bring peace back to you. Maybe you've never had true peace, but screw it. I'll end it all, for you, Your Highness." Did she see Teresa stop for a brief moment? W isn't sure. She shimmers and blends into the light. Darkness returns once more. What was that? Oh my. You heard the king's echo. You're alive? Qualidkoa appears behind W without her realizing. Neither the bombs nor the falling rocks left a mark on him. He comes up beside W and gently closes the door. Her Highness has left. How could you be so calm when I just blew up your home? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If destruction is inevitable, why despair when it comes? You don't let things get to you. I'll give you that. Honestly, I'm starting to find you interesting. Aren't you supposed to be really powerful? Did any of the kings of Sarkaz try to send you to do something useful? The one I serve, Shisartustash, transcends history itself. He is a colossal titan in the vast river of time. I followed him in his wars, My sword, an instrument of death to his command. But my body, a failed vessel at extending his life. Guess even the craziest among us have their loyalists. The experiment failed. Unable to fulfill my destined purpose, I banished myself to this realm. I am of no use, fit to gather the remnants of bygone heroes and mourn the past. I have been waiting for someone to open to the door of the future. Open the door to the future. I thought Teresa would be the one to do so. You. The gaunt figure picks up the broken altar fragments on the ground and grinds them into fine dust. He trails the powder down his cheeks with his fingers, creating 2 streaks that resemble tears. Her Highness Teresa is gone. You have picked up her last echo. The King of Sarkaz's old subject. Your presence here may not be a coincidence, young Sarkaz. You know what? I think so too. Gonna leave a souvenir in the Confessori's nest. Koa looks down to find several bombs at his feet. Why did you? You know what? Of all the old freaks I've met, you're one of the more interesting ones. But I couldn't leave a Confessorius without leaving a present behind. What is your name, mercenary? Find it on Theresa's tombstone.
Your face just
Nice.
now, it seems the expression folds of a feather flock together is indeed true.
Is it though? All right, 14-7. "58 hours into the operation. Shit! How are we supposed to fight these guys when our equipment doesn't even come close to theirs? Evacuate now! Lifebone's signal is strong. We have a good fix on its location. Forward, Scoutcasters, advance! Bye-bye. Look out! Enemies! Informant! Watch information! Watch for an ambush! Infantry, form a line! Casters, provide cover! Too late. She's got you now. Royal Court elites. Under Manfred's direct command. A lot of them. No heavy firepower, though. I can at least slow them down. HOEDERER was right. Ursula knows our defenses are weak, and she'll tell Manfred. We can use this to our advantage. To our advantage. The military commission won't allow Lifebone to fall into enemy hands. Manfred would destroy it if he had no other choice. Draw them in, avoid direct confrontation. Manfred will be cautious about the use of heavy weapons as long as he thinks there's a chance to retake the skeleton intact. That gives us a chance to buy time. With enough time, there's a sliver of hope. They're good tacticians, the group of them. This had better work, HOEDERER. What's this bothersome shadow? Nasher Arts. Mercenaries are just mercenaries. Maybe you could hold your own in a 1-to-1 fight, or small-scale confrontations. But where did you find the nerve to fight a real war? I've always been curious. What made mercenaries like you choose to become enemies of the military commission? Ooh. Shadow blends into the vast darkness, yet not enough to escape the decay that closely follows. We have intel of a merc who could manipulate shadows. Are you Inez? An outsider dressing herself up as a Sarkaz, participating in the wars of the Sarkaz. What are you, a Sarkaz fangirl? I become less interested when the Sarkaz talk too much. Shadows erupt from beneath the Nasher, morphing into sharp blades that streak towards her chest, only to tear through layers of tattered cloth. The Nasher's ribbons are wrapped tightly around the shadow blades until they shatter and disintegrate. The Nasher's knife presses against Inez's throat. Nice party trick. Not enough to take down a real soldier, though. Amateur. Consider yourself lucky that I don't approve of the Sanguinarch's methods. A new era for the Sarkaz is dawning. Mercenaries like you who strayed from the path should get a second chance. Are you the leader of this rabble? I'm Lieutenant General Nadine, General Manfred's deputy, and I offer you the chance to surrender. I suggest you take it. Huh. You don't look scared. Scared of what? A wet behind-the-ear rookie who's on a real battlefield for the first time? What did you say? I know your type. You got into the Military Commission's Academy because of your Royal Court bloodline, studied a few theories, and got promoted to staff officer as soon as you graduated. Sorry to say, but real war is a bit harder than those exams you passed. You'll pay the price for your futile taunting. It's not futile if it distracts you. Who's the amateur now, Lieutenant General? Well. Damn, this thing packs a punch. That heap of deadwood wasn't lying. How did you know I was coming? I could smell the explosions from a mile away. Oh yeah? Guess we're starting to build chemistry. I'd rather not have my brain cells mixed with your bomb-blasted ones, thank you very much. Enough small talk. How many did the Military Commission send? I'll blow them all the way back to Casdell. Well, where did you go? And what's with the outfit change? Let's go. My old guard was a little frayed, so I had to improvise. You'd never believe what I ran into out there. You're tough for a heap of deadwood. If I can't blow you up, at least I'll blast all this stuff. These weapons and armor are relics of great Sarkaz heroes. Your weapons will not harm them. So you're saying these things are blast-proof? All right, don't mind if I do. Better for them to get some sunshine with me than rot in here. Young mercenary, you should respect Sarkaz heroes. What's going on? Where's Manfred? I could use a target to try out my new gear. Don't be hasty. You'll ruin our plan if you make too much of a scene. Why? Does HOEDERER have some trick up his sleeve again? You have squandered your only chance to live. You refused to join the Military Commission. Now you will fuel the war. I hear the sound of fighting. Things are going smoothly, sir. We haven't run into much resistance. The mercenaries are no match for us, but it would be difficult to stop them from destroying the lifeboat out of desperation. No, they won't do it. This book has no ending. It's just a manuscript from an unknown writer. Hardly worthy of your attention, General. I remember you, veteran. You like reading, not just any book, but the kind that promotes this sort of pessimism towards war. No need to justify your reading interests. To be honest with me, mercenary. What ending would you write, if you were the author? The hero returns home. Not a death in battle. A warrior should think of more than his home in battle. Whose home should he think of, then? Your empathy is admirable. Pardon my impudence. Sentimentality is a necessary trait in an author. But indecision is the worst trait in a soldier. I understand. Your compassion is the reason I've kept you alive for so long, but you should have gone back to Casdell, become a teacher or a farmer, giving up your ludicrous mercenary career. Lifebone was meant to be a way home for all warriors. Remain vigilant. A beast is most dangerous when cornered. Keep up the pressure. Give them no quarter. Sir, look out! No one sees the smoke coagulate into a blade, as subtly as mist condenses into dew. The soldier beside Manfred throws himself in front of his commander. The blade impales him, delaying it for an instant. Enough for Manfred to draw his sword. You won't! Ascalon, right? Yep. Let's go. It all happens in the blink of an eye. Sparks coagulate by Manfred's side just as he swings his sword upwards, but Ascalon's blade is swifter. This time, there is no doubt, no hesitation. A blow long due. The assassin and the general cross blades, severing life and death, and all their past ties. General! The sword impales Ascalon's shoulder, but the sleeve blade pierces Manfred's heart. Ugh! You've lived up to your words. As I said I would. If you had made up your mind, I would have died at your hand. A long time ago. I still have regrets about not killing you the night you left Wis'adel. Farewell. What a shame. I thought you would at least shed a tear. What? You would have recognized us under any other circumstances. Quick and direct, weren't you? Did you care too much about him or too little? Everything went exactly as Manfred expected. You still don't know Manfred well enough for all the years that you've been rivals, but he knows you all too well. Interesting. We've engaged the royal court on both the north and south sides, and we're pulling back our lines as planned. Everything has gone according to plan so far. Good. Any sign of Manfred? Not yet. He wouldn't be content to just sit back and bark orders at a time like this. I hope things go smoothly for Ascalon. No, she won't be coming back. What did you say? What? So they're there. I knew you would be here. Manfred. Delay tactics. Did you really think protecting this skeleton would help you turn the tables? Why? I gave you a chance. I gave you far too many chances. You knew the smart thing to do. Once again, you are having Sarkaz slaughter Sarkaz. Haven't you had enough of wars like this? You disappoint me. Their death is not on me, but your naivete. Should have left a long time ago. Isn't this what you had always longed for? Now your mercenaries will die here, as will my soldiers, for something so meaningless. Have you not learned the lessons of the Civil War? That's why the Sarkaz shouldn't repeat the mistakes of the past. Haven't we all seen that what the Civil War became? We lost an entire generation to the Civil War, and you're trying to kill more. Nothing will come of this war against all of Terra. Something will come of it. Something must. You have seen it already. You just refuse to acknowledge it. To hate and to be hated. If that's what the military commission's goal, then mission accomplished. Don't you understand? That's the reason I needed you to get out of this. Yes, the Civil War cost Wis'adel an entire generation and made you and I out of the survivors, murderers who could only live by the sword. Why have you stayed? If you wanted to change all of this, there was so much more you could have done and should have done. So what if I return to Wis'adel? What happens next? How do I describe to the children of the fields where their fathers, their mothers, their brothers, and their sisters are buried? How do I make them believe in another future? Hatred is a means to unity, but you cannot let that unity become the spark for a new hatred. I can't leave, not while the war continues. So you have chosen to live and die with the war. In that case, I will give you the answer. HOEDERER, you coward. You lack even the courage to keep living. This is what makes you so contemptible. This is what disappoints me so deeply. Oh, no way. 14-7 countermeasures, okay. Ooh,
Take them all by storm.
I don't like that. That's some dookie. We're gonna put Exu here. Let her handle that. Okay, we're gonna put her there.
Lives are mine to protect.
Oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that guy's there. That's some BS. That is the major BS. I don't like it, and I don't want it.
We're gonna do that because I believe there's another that comes out there later. Oh yeah, look at him chipping away at that. I love it. We're gonna put her there.
I hear the period, the reversal of finality.
Wow, looks awfully dangerous. You call me out for this? Watch out for fires!
Gotta keep him from getting in there. Good job, Aya. Beautifully done.
War. A word I've not heard.
Interval is shorted. Scope can be manually deactivated, which is good.
If you're really incapable, I plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Poor little guy. It's your unlucky day. Where do you wish to go? I am Babel.
Oh my god. Her little animation. That's crazy. Lamia, you can attack that guy. Let's keep him going there.
Professor?
Alright, we'll keep her charged up. Just in case. Okay, we got this one, and I think there's one more that comes out. Maybe. Oh no, this is it. This is the last guy. Okay. That's not gonna work.
Anything outside the plan?
You can just help shoot him, please. Okay. Those things are hard to kill, but I got them. 3 there, 1 up there. I swear there was another one in that stage. I might be thinking of a later one. No. The 7th batch of new comm stations has been set up. 1/3 of all comm lines have been restored. Data from makeshift catastrophe monitoring stations indicates stabilizing atmospheric orogenium concentration, but rising underground orogenium activity. 2 more teams of engineers have arrived at their destination. Continue to eliminate obstacles standing in the way of the main fleet. 4 battleships from the Duke of Gododin, including the Felicis, will arrive at the rendezvous point in 15 minutes to join the escort flotilla after resupply. Joint Command confirms the Wellington reinforcements. You hear those announcements? The Ducal Alliance's forward base is just ahead. Smooth sailing so far. We owe Rhodes Island our thanks for plotting our route, and not just us who are indebted to them. Should we drive our tanks straight in? Small encounters are one thing, but this is one of the main camps of the Ducal Alliance. Will the Exemplar's ID code really work? Of course. Please leave trifles like these to me and proceed ahead. Your entrances are always so sudden, Mr. Asher. Looks like you've been keeping an eye on our little procession in the middle of everything else you had to do. There's a group of soldiers up ahead, Vina, plus a few trucks of ammo, gear, and food. Should we just accept it? Could be a trap this Burke's laid for us. Yes, we'll take it. Ideals alone don't win battles. Thank you, Mr. Bellingham. Sincerely this time. You've helped us more than once. Please don't call me that. I'm perfectly content being the strange man in the hat. It's for the better if you suspect ulterior motives behind my every move. These gifts aren't just for Gibsonham. It's also for everything that Rhodes Island has done. We have sent people to direct civilians to the safe zones. Gifts. Didn't think you engaged in such courtesies. Better than not doing anything, isn't it? You know how Victoria works. The towns around Londinium were not part of the Duke of Castor's jurisdiction. Considering the circumstances, however, Her Grace was forced to take certain actions that might perhaps be controversial in the future, in order to provide safe shelters for as many as possible. Enough. I'm not interested in how Duke Castor intends to win people over. Tell me where the Stone of the Sword is, and what's happening at the front lines. No need to rush, Your Royal Highness. The history of the Stone of the Sword is long and complex. Ideally, I would require several dozen photographs, an abundance of literature, and have you cleared for the highest access before I could properly recount these stories. In any case, I will take you to the front personally. If I were you, I would tell the troops to get some rest at the camp, while they can. You will learn more about the situation at the camp. Seeing is worth 1,000 words, is it not? Here, I'll help. Heave ho! That's the last crate.
Thank you. We were running short on ammo. The logistics team says they'll whip up a bony meal from the supplies you brought before we head out. Care to join us for a bite?
Thanks for the offer, but we've got Sarkaz scums to kill. We just received orders from command to join up with the assault on Silver Rock Bluffs once we've transferred the supplies. Those monsters. Nashers, they're called. I can't wait to put them down. Look at this. The newest crossbows, AP ammo, precision arts units. This stuff would be rare even in elite units in ordinary times. What about Originium protection? Fighting Sarkaz isn't just about firepower. No worries. We've been issued a full set of PPE plus medication. Look. What the? Break's over, Private Brown. Get ready to move. Have you oiled up your crossbow? I'll oil it with the blood of the Sarkaz. Hope their blood doesn't stink too much. Good man. Now back to your squad. Are you the commander of this unit? My name's Shearer. I served as the medical officer of the Duke of Windermere's flagship. Your soldiers claim they've been issued sufficient Originium PPE, but... What are you trying to say, Lieutenant? As far as I know, the Duke of Windermere's troops have withdrawn from the war. It's not your place to question me. Go back to whatever you're supposed to be doing. You know full well, don't you? This type of equipment offers protection against mild industrial pollution at best, and yet you're issuing it to soldiers. Soldiers who are about to walk into highly active Originium plume to face a catastrophe and infected Sarkaz head-on. They'll all get infected and die on the front lines from acute symptoms. On what authority are you speaking to me? As a lieutenant of the so-called exemplars? I'm questioning you as a citizen of Victoria with a medical education major. Victorian citizen, eh? Then you should know that not even Victoria could produce specialized Originium PPE for 100,000 soldiers on such short notice. But you should at least tell them the truth. By observing proper operating procedures in highly active Originium environments, their infection rates could be reduced by as much as... Spare me the lecture. We came to fight. We came to die. But we will take the Sarkaz with us until victory belongs to Victoria. Infected, oropathy. There will be no confirmed cases of oropathy in the Victorian army before the end of the war. This is absurd! Me, my commanding officer, and his commanding officer will all be wearing the same protective equipment. We will charge with our men. Nay, we'll be leading the charge. Now let go of me. If you want to make difference, exemplar, go to the front lines. You want to make a difference. Lieutenant Shearer. You heard him. Thanks to advance warning from our Rhodes Island friends, the exemplars have sufficient protective gear. We have some to spare. Don't even think about it. What little we can provide is just a drop in the ocean for the tens of thousands in need. All we can do is take care of ourselves. We have our own duty. To bring an end to all of this as quickly as we can. It can't be. Captain, it's him. Your shield. Why are you loading your weapon, Captain? What are you doing? Wait for me. What did you see? Someone I thought to be long dead. Okay. Lieutenant, what happened to my men? They're here, rest assured. They're only unconscious. I don't mean Cello's group. You know who I mean. Don't push me, or it won't be my shield against your chin. Draw your sword, you'll be assaulting an ally. Heh, ally? At what point since the moment we entered County Hillock have you ever treated us as an ally? Answer me! Flashing back to the County Hillock incident. Lost him. Hill, adjutant to Colonel Hamilton. I thought he had died in the fires of Dublin with the Colonel. Not just him. I saw many familiar faces on the Wellington tanks. They could change their clothes, but I'll never forget their faces. County Hillock. I remember my men bagpipe, and how each of them died. Cello and oboe died at the hands of Dublin. Triangle, snare, bass, and mandolin died to friendly fire. Moments before dying, Triangle asked me, "Who's our enemy?"
There isn't a night when I don't think about that question. Just who is our enemy, Bagpipe? It's Dublin. Dublin, certainly. We could hate the Tarans. You once told me that you encountered the former leader of Dublin and let her go. Aye. I met our enemy too, the Dublin commander who killed Cello. I buried her by the walls of Londinium with my own hands. Couldn't stop myself from hating her, but I know she's far from the only one responsible for this tragedy. Why did our comrades, the most loyal soldiers of Victoria, die at County Hillock, while Hill and more traitors live? Captain, I know what I'm doing. If we fire at the Duke's tents now, we risk bringing down the Alliance, even the dream of the Exemplars. That's the saddest thing, isn't it? We can't even take revenge, because they put on their bloody Victorian uniforms and once again become our allies. Captain, permission to speak freely? Granted. I don't trust them. Would the men who killed our friends, the ones who fired on innocent civilians, really stand with us when we charge against the Sarkaz? Even we cannot set aside our hatred and trust our lives to our former enemies without reservation. Could they? There you are. Vina and I inspected this forward base. The troops are disciplined and morale is high. The Dukes are taking this seriously. They seem to have reached a united front, allowing their troops to be organized according to function rather than faction. At least that's what it looks like on the surface. We saw Castor's elite standing guard near all the Wellington tents, and at least 2 or 3 groups of Castor's men stationed further away.
Dang gnat. Flying in my eye. Anyways.
The faked unity is unity nonetheless. At least in a time of crisis, the Dukes know who their true enemy is.
One more piece of bad news. I checked out the field hospital. It's sparkling clean. There isn't a single wounded inside.
They're abandoning the wounded. That's impossible. Morale would collapse.
Or maybe there are no wounded.
Also impossible. We saw how fierce the fighting is on our way here. Things could only be worse at Silver Rock Bluffs. Wait, you don't mean...
None of the wounded made it back.
We need to put an end to this tragedy as soon as we can. The Exemplar's strength might be insignificant compared to the all-consuming war, but creating miracles, that's what we do.
An inspiring pep talk. Repairs on your tanks are complete.
There you are, at last. Wait, why is the ground red? Is it your blood or...
That's not important. My orders are to ensure that the size of Kings finds its pedestal. Should I fail, another will put on this hat and continue the work. I bring a message from the Duke of Castor, Your Royal Highness. Castor forever honors her commitments.
Enough pleasantries. Where's this pedestal? This stone of the sword?
You've seen the camp. You have an idea of what the front is like. This is hardly the best time to tell you the truth, but we have no choice. The pedestal is on the Glorious, flagship of the Duke of Castor.
What? You planned this all along. You guided our path, gave us a place to rest, so you could lead us onto your home field. What's next? Will Castor's troops turn their weapons on us if we say no?
Please, no need to get excited. Facts are facts no matter how you choose to interpret them. My orders were always to bring the Realm Blade to the Stone of the Sword, with or without Exemplars. Please consider it an act of good faith that I am telling you the truth now, rather than simply taking the sword from you during your darkest hour.
Continue.
Like I said, the history around the sword and the pedestal is a complex one. One that ought to be known by only by a select few royals and nobles. In the distant past, even before the Shah of past and future, an explorer discovered an artifact deep in the sands in the south of Sargon. It was by no means a sword, but it was built to repress the spread of originium crystals within a certain area. The treasure allowed the explorer to survive a catastrophe that should have engulfed the entire team.
The legend of the catastrophe cleaver.
The survivors forged a sword out of the artifact and presented it to the Shahanshah at the time as a symbol of valor. In the year 737, the Aslan Padishah, Lugo Smazi, brought the size of Kings to Victoria.
Decades later, his grandson became Victoria's first Lord of Lions.
The sword has severed the head of a red dragon, witnessed the reconciliation between Aslan and Draco, and became the symbol of Victoria's royal authority. It had been damaged and reforged several times, and many have tried to uncover the secret behind its ability to fend off catastrophe. Scholars have yet to understand the principles behind the sword's power, but they did discover how to make the most of it. The pedestal, dubbed the Stone of the Sword, at the Mausoleum of Kings, is the result of research by House Castor. The Duke of Castor, at the time, kept the backup. After the original pedestal in the Mausoleum of Kings was destroyed in the battle, the only working replica is kept on the Glorious. For a century, Castor has coveted the Realm Blade. Chance has finally arrived. Countless soldiers and civilians will die in the war, but Castor gets to reap the fruit of victory and become the hero who saves Victoria. Judge it as you will, but this is what little chance, if not the only chance of victory, Victoria has in the present crisis. Our trump card in this dangerous game. Sugarcoat it all you want, but you can't convince us that the despicable scheming never happened. Choice is yours, Your Royal Highness. Enough. I refuse to engage in arguments over power, while we denounce the dukes for being calculative. There is no Princess Alexandrina, only Siege, leader of the Exemplars. There is no symbol of royal authority. The size of kings is just a weapon, one that can win the war for Victoria. We go to war. Thank you, on behalf of Victoria. Spy takes half a step back and bows. I'll lead the way, however. You should prepare yourselves. East Vanguard reports taking 3 villages by Duskglow River. Sarkaz forces continue to staunchly defend Silver Rock Bluffs Pass. All resistance on the southern front of Redmane Mountains has been neutralized. However, Command expressly forbids crossing the mountains to flank the Sarkaz. All gunboats and dreadnoughts in position. Support gunboats have also arrived at their destination. The ground continues to tremble. The weary travelers can no longer distinguish the quakes from bombardments or the clusters of orogenium erupting from the earth. The earth is scarred by deep, crisscrossing battleship tread marks. The stench of blood and sludge hangs heavily in the air. The Exemplar's tanks lumber through the rugged terrain. We're almost in the hot zone. How far until Duke Castor's flagship? A moment, please. I'm searching for the signal. Keep heading north and we'll soon... Witchcraft guns! The lead tank has been destroyed. We've taken damage too. We can't move. Is it the engine or the wheel? Possibly both. Fix it ASAP. We can't stay here. We need to deliver the Realm Blade to the Stone of the Sword. Wait, what's that mountain? I don't recall any mountain like that outside Londinium. That's no mountain. It's Orogenium. The churning tides of Orogenium have coalesced into a colossal mass, blotting out the sun and transforming the very landscape. In its shadow, even battleships appear as mere specks. Above the mountain of Orogenium. Crazy. Nazir King. A withered throne ominously hovers. The Nazir King gazes upon the battlefield. All seeds sprout at the same time, withered branches creeping towards every death-shrouded corner. Go, my bravest warriors. Gnaw upon the greatest bone, tear iron and steel apart as you would skin and flesh. Rip, tear, consume. We shall teach the Victorians the master of war shall master war.
Every incantation I wrote was utilized by you, with not a single word wasted. We make for an excellent team, Doctor.
All right, one thing we're gonna do, let's go ahead and Elite 2 Amia.
What I saw that day. The despair stuck in my throat. Hopelessly trying to scream. I want to bury it all deep inside my mind and never let it out.
Awesome. All right. Give her a little bump here.
I see.
Because of the fact that I'm using her.
I've learned so much from you.
7 times. Range expands. Damage type changes to true. After the skill ends, Amia will automatically be retreated. I don't use that. I don't retreat her. That's cool. Anyways, I wanted to upgrade her, and even though I did get caster stuff to Elite 2 Logos, I don't have I need one more of these. I can make white horse coal. That's no problem. But yeah, see, I need those. I can make the white horse coal, no problem. But how many does he need? 6, okay. But I need one more of the nucleic crystal center, and I don't have the stuff for that. So I need 6 of those. Which 6 times 4 is 24, so I need 9 more. All right, we'll get all that stuff ready. Switch her over, make one more of those. Okay, now let's do this. Max 6. We'll get everything prepped and ready so that I can E2 him. And I have stuff so I can E2 my Wis'adel as well, but I don't have, I'm missing something else for her. And I tried. Yeah, I can't make any more, so I got all 6 of those. All right. Yeah, I can't do this until you have to clear 11-7 or 11-3 to get the recipe for that. I'll have to make a couple more of these, which isn't a problem, but I'll have to wait till Friday to do that. But I mean, I could even buy them out of the shop, but I don't do that. I usually just farm for those. That's no problem. But the only other way I could get this is through like the IS mode stuff, and I tried dabbling a little bit in that earlier today, and number one, I didn't really know what I was doing. Number two, I didn't really go far. I could maybe try again, but is what it is. And same with her. To promote, I need 2 more of these. I have everything else. I need 2 more of the crystalline electronic unit. And I'd have to do S5-9, which I could probably do that, but I'm not too worried about that right now. All right, let's do one more for this episode. We've got this hidden front stuff, but we'll kick that off for next time. Because that's an interesting little thing, or maybe we'll even kind of, I don't know if we'll dedicate an episode to that, but we'll definitely try another next time, or try a little bit of that on the next episode. But this will be, we'll wrap up with 14-8, I think this is. What the hell are those things up in the sky? Get down! Ooh, that's a cool effect. Ah! Delphine, your right hand! Don't touch. This isn't any normal cannon fire. Sarkaz witchcraft. It's corrosive in nature. I won't be much help. Those people still trapped in the polluted area. It's too late for them. You got shit in the air. You got shit in the air, stuff growing on the ground, and crystals and dust everywhere. Can't even take a damn step. The Sarkaz want to turn this battlefield into their home turf, forcing us to put down our gear and cower while they pummel us. When it comes to a head-to-head infantry battle, the Sarkaz will surely have an advantage due to their natural physique. All right, I get it now. It's all just a dirty trick. Which is why we can't afford to get caught off guard. If they ever get the drop on us, we're done for on the spot. Morgan, get as many of our vehicles up and running as you can. Avoid any close combat with Sarkaz infantry. Even if a vehicle's destroyed, don't overlook the mounted cannon. They're the best weapons we've got. Understood. Delphine, send the signalers out as widely as you feasibly can. The exemplars will be able to maintain communication that way, at the least. Of course. If we want to push forward, we're going to have to take down the altar up ahead. Horn, covering fire. Roger. Indra, your team's responsible for holding the enemy back. Doesn't matter if it's casters or arch creation, or whatever those things are up in the sky. You got it. Dagda's team, you're with me. Same as always? Same as always. I can see the core. Move out. Another altar of Sarkaz witchcraft. Climb, pull up, leap, bring down the hammer. As the war rages on, they become more and more familiar with these war machines resembling the devil's eyes. They become more and more familiar with the war itself. Vina often feels as if Indra, Morgan, and Dagda have changed somewhat. She trusts that the very same changes can be seen in her. Is it a change for the better, or a change that came far too late? The devil's crimson eye stares at her. The hammer comes down hard and the altar begins to collapse before Siege even reaches the ground.
It worked! Phew! We took it down even quicker than the last one. I hear something. Back up!
Something's growing out of that bloody thing! It's another altar, not far from the one we knocked down. How many of these little buggers did they bury in the ground? Bloody hell! There's no end to them. Siege tightly grips her hammer. They're adapting, but not quickly enough. Shobi Asher, has the location of the Stone of Sword changed? I haven't been notified of any changes to the plan. Can the ship still move with all the originium crystals everywhere? I'll have you know, Victoria has the most powerful fleet on land. We might be slowed a little, but we're certainly not without options. I hear naval guns. I believe it's the Iron Duke's Gastro, going by the sound. The next round of our assault is beginning. Oh, wow. One of Avercorn's assault ships has run into the Sarkaz Advance Brigade. The enemy was hiding in the fog and suddenly appeared. Our vision is severely limited by the originium crystals and we can't follow their movements at all. Has mid-range communications been restored yet? The ship's comm tower is still out of commission. Engineering's trying to repair it, but in this originium-dense zone... Your Grace, what are you doing on deck? There's originium dust everywhere outside. Please try not to leave the command center. I've heard that Wellington always stands on the deck of the Gastro, personally commanding his frontline troops. The Iron Duke has been through many battles, but you... Just now the Gastro opened fire. Your ears did not deceive you. Is he still pressing forward? I'm afraid so. The Iron Duke's forces have penetrated deeper than we thought, and are about to collide with the Sarkaz core units. Wellington... Does he plan to take the head of the Sarkaz Regent? The Wesley Wellington I knew was indeed a warrior before he became the Iron Duke. His bravery might have bordered on madness, but he would never gamble with the outcome of a battle. Regardless, the Iron Duke's recklessness has placed us at great risk. As per the initial orders, Duke Abercorn's and Duke Ashworth's men are following the Iron Duke, and among them, our vanguard as well. Factoring in the surrounding originium, our front line is being stretched thin. What are the eyes you placed aboard the Gastro? Nothing yet. Even us Trilby Ashers are experiencing some serious delays in communication. Hyleen, confirm the status of the Stone of the Sword. No issues so far. We will never allow the Stone of the Sword to be tainted by Sarkaz witchcraft. Your Grace, the poet has launched a flare. So Alexandrina and the Size of Kings will arrive soon. Have your people keep a close eye on them. Don't let the sword get lost on the battlefield. We must put the Size of Kings to work immediately. Unless the comms are restored fully, the so-called Ducal Alliance is a non-entity. The enemy seems to be getting stronger. The same witchcraft eats away at us while strengthening them. Siege, watch out! Ah! Dagda! The hammer falls and a portion of the Nasher warrior's body is caved in. Ooh. But he continues to advance. She caved his body in with a hammer and he keeps going, damn! Resilient dude. A second swing, then a third. Dagda leaps back, splitting his waist with her metal claws. But Trilby Asher's flaming blade pierces his chest. That's just one. There are still many more ahead. These Sarkaz are truly monsters! These bloody devils are all monsters! God damn it, they're not even flesh and blood! Do you think they're already dead? Only the dead can... Already dead? Strange noises can be heard in all directions. They are distinct from the sounds of the originium crystal clusters piercing the ground. They're not omens to the explosion of originium dust. Captain, we can't hold out like this! There's no end to them! Better focus on one right in front of you then. There's always going to be someone standing in front. Raise the shield, fire the cannon, repeat. Ad infinitum. Victoria possesses the strongest weapons in all of Terra. One shell can easily blow a part of Sarkaz's armor. Just as quickly, 2 more Sarkaz rush forth at the same time to take the place. Then 3. The artillery fire unleashes its fury, but it cannot stem the surging tide. There's no end to the enemies. She can hardly tell how many Sarkaz are on the ground in front of her, some standing, some lying. The number of fallen Victorians is perhaps even greater. She can hear bagpipes, shouts, and the whistling of her spear. From those she finds utmost solace. and that's enough to keep her fighting on. A plume of firelight suddenly springs up, not too far away.
Bagpipe. What is it, Captain? I think I just saw Hill again. Oh, Hill. That same face again. That same face that appears in her nightmares, every now and then reminding her of how tragically her teammates died. The face of that traitor. He's dead. Is he that one lion over there? Seems to have been killed in action some time ago. Captain, just now, did he... He moved. He's standing up again. The man clad in the uniform of Wellington's forces staggers towards them. He lifts the blade in his hands and slashes at the Sarkaz in front of Horn. The armor is too thick and the recoil pushes his hands away. His arms contort strangely and he strikes a second time, then a third. That familiar visage is getting closer and closer to them. In the midst of the dead, silent gray, only a tiny speck of purple dances. It's her! It's Dublin! So he is dead, but it's Iblana. I lay down now my soldier's honor here, so that in time the soil of Tara need no longer be soaked in carmine blood, and Draco cross no swords with Draco kin, be that unless a day comes whereupon Red Dragon's flame should lead all those that fell, our fighters, from the forge to be reborn. The third set of altars has been crushed! Milady, our casters and flying soldiers are in position. We're about to approach the largest altar. Our deceased compatriots have managed to protect us from the devil's vile pollution, but the destructive power of the witchcraft is unprecedented. Allow me. Milady, you're going to destroy the altar yourself. You, as my subjects, have done all you needed to do. I, as your sovereign, ought to lead you forward. How can I take this land as my own if I have never set foot upon it? The Red Dragon's flame shall fall upon the battlefield's front lines, just as it has for thousands of years. Our altar's being raised! Stay in formation, don't get scattered by those flames. Keep casting! They're nothing but a ragtag bunch of impotent outbloods. I wouldn't be so sure about that. You're nothing like those Victorians who have it easy. Every Taran warrior has been forged within the shadows, tempered by pain and suffering. We were once known as specters, for we knew most intimately the scent of death. I won't let you! Trying to turn yourself into an arts catalyst to detonate the altar? As you wish. No! I'm too late. The spark of life gradually fades, then in its place burns a deathly purple flame, leaping across the body of the slain Sarkaz warrior, just as it dances in Iblana's eyes. Oh wow. This is so cool! The connections with past events and side stories and stuff, and like the ties with this and what the Firelight casts and stuff. It is so neat. There is no royal court in Death's domain. Sarkaz, your people know death so well only because you've fought enough wars. See that? Death itself stands with us. Our enemies are not inscrutable demons. Drag those Sarkaz out from their pretentious art circles and give them a taste of our crossbows and cannons! Brigadier, I see a flame burning within your eyes. I've waited far too long for this, just like countless other Taran warriors. All of us grew up hearing the legends of the Empire's death knell and enlisted with burning fervor in our hearts. But over the last few decades, Wellington's administration and the Duke have had their hands tied, and we've also been caught between the cracks of the other Duke's negotiation tables. So many hot-blooded warriors were repressed because of their background, while many others perished in the Victorians' conspiracies. I've endured for so many years to see myself turn into a scheming villain, all for the sake of witnessing a real war, not one ignited by the nobles' petty power jockeying. Only on such a battlefield can a warrior's death be glorious and meaningful. If I am to die in this battle, then please bestow upon me your flames so that I may stand once more. Until my remains are consumed fully by the fire, until our promised nation has been established, I shall never lay down my arms. Excellent. Now then, come with me. Do you see that throne of deadwood? That's the Sarkaz leader. The Nazir, Nes Salem, he who calls himself the Lord of War and Death. The Sarkaz royal court sure has a thing for these overblown titles. Overblown? Hardly. He just happens to be ancient enough. But he is not the only living legend here. Why, of course. Not far away, naval guns roar. Ancient witchcraft is not the only force that can cause mountains to move. Now let us pit war against war and death against death.
It's interesting how her power, in a way, the power that her and Reed both hold, can, in a way, rival that of the Sarkaz in terms of the way that death works to both of them and how death can be controlled. It's so strange. My patriarch, the hunt has been cut short. That Draco's flames have broken our formation. Draco. Thousands of years ago, after the Sarkaz first lost their homeland, they once did battle against a red dragon on this very soil. Those flames turned fields of Sarkaz into charred stone. They are still beside us and beneath our feet. We will slay her. A red dragon will sate our appetite for a while. She is not the one who drives this war. The Azure King turns his gaze towards a certain part of the battlefield. Behind the red dragon, smoke and flames. A huge shadow is rushing toward them at an unexpected speed. A titan that casts a shadow across the land, able to shake mountains and rivers with but a single breath. No longer is it a mere red dragon. All parameters set. Loading complete. Firing interference shells. Target locked on. Main guns. First salvo. Confirmed hit. General, we swept the obstacles away. Good. Gastrel, all ahead, fool. Our objective, the Nazar's throne. I forget what all the voices were that I used for those characters in What the Firelight casts. The naval guns roar. Wellington is well acquainted with his most loyal subject, the oldest gun aboard the ship, that which assisted him in blowing open the gates of Lingonus. He killed the mightiest nomadic city, on Terra. He pulled the spine from its corpse and made it a part of his warship. Afterwards, he took the Gastrel to many lands and conquered many foes. The arts orbs of Litanian casters, the shields of Ursine vanguards, the golden blades of Sargonian assassins. He collected and modified the most valuable components of his enemies and placed them upon his flagship. But not for the sake of commemoration. Only those who have become weak and frail through the passage of time need to rely on these vestiges to remember the past. The Gastrel must step over the bones of its enemies, assimilating their power so that it may become stronger. Only this way can the two of them defeat even stronger enemies together. Intercept them. The crystal barrier has been shattered. The enemy continues to advance. How they must long for death using artillery fire to cleave a path. Wave after wave of cannon fire pours down onto the Sea of Originium. Golden fragments crack and split apart, revealing a gap within those congealed waves. How dare they approach us! A thick haze envelops the battleship. Countless Nazir warriors land on its deck, the entire vessel enveloped in the glow of witchcraft. Rend, dismantle, corrode. The cadence of gunfire gradually slows. The hard steel hull is being digested, just like all other prey that has fallen onto the Nazir's art circles. Capture complete. Not yet. He lifts his scepter. Branches grow rapidly from beneath the throne, blocking the front of the Nazir's warriors. A shell lodges within the branches. A few seconds later, the shell explodes, tearing the branches asunder. For the first time since the battle began, the Nazir's throne shakes. My patriarch! It matters not. From the thick haze of corruption, the warship slowly comes into view. Its outer layer flayed off by the corruption, almost half its main and secondary guns disabled due to the bombardment of witchcraft shells. Only the steel frame remains shining. Yet she is nevertheless still Gastrel, the mightiest warship in the land, and her master. The Sarkaz atop the throne lowers his head, noticing a faint shadow among the crystal clusters. General, the Gastrel has successfully drawn the attention of the main Sarkaz force. They didn't even notice that we were transferred from the main ship. Wait, something's coming in fast. Guardsmen, tighten your formation. A salvo of artillery fire. Only a few tiny twigs fall from the smoke and dust. The force that was enough to shatter those crystalline waves cannot even shake the figure floating in the air. The Nazir King casts his gaze down upon the commander at the center of the army. Not far behind the old feline, the bloodthirsty warship is waiting, eager to tear at his rotting flesh. Duke of Victoria. We have devoured many Victorians. General, Duke,
Whatever the title, they all tasted the same. Conspirators, merchants, but none of their warriors. They saw the battlefield as little more than a sandbox atop a table. The soldiers, mere chess pieces, war itself, only a tool for power and profit. How frivolous war was to them. But you are different. Your ship has also feasted on many enemies. Ursine, Latanian, Gaulish, and Sarkaz. I can smell their flesh. They have also been absorbed by the Nashers. Sarkaz, I've read plenty of records about you. The ancient Nashers, with 1/10 of the Victorians' army's numbers, were able to halt their advance on Kazdel. A feat of war that defies all reason, one that cannot be taught in military academies or replicated. Are you here to take revenge? My only regret is that I hadn't been born 200 years ago. They apparently called you the god of war. No, there are no gods when it comes to war. There only exists the momentum of victory or defeat. Wellington draws his sword and points it at the Sarkaz in midair. Behind him, all the guns on his ship are pointed in the same direction. Nez Salem, I will defeat you, just like all the other mighty foes that have fallen at my hands.
Well, that would be interesting. Not gonna happen there, buddy. Sorry, he's a little too strong for you. Okay. Ooh, I vaguely remember how I did this one.
I don't think I'll even remember your faces after this one. Anyway, let's just get started.
I only have there for a moment.
Please, trust in me.
She's gonna end up having to leave here. I'm gonna end up having to pull her, which is fine. That's okay. But
All right.
War. A word I've not heard.
specialist
in a
tactical
long,
point.
long
Increase the push and
time.
pull strength of the operator on it. That's okay.
I'm prepared.
All right, Reed. Let's get started here. Yeah. No, I'm gonna hold off on him.
If you're really incapable, I'll plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Thus I speak.
All right, we keep her there.
Got it.
Put Amia there. Let her help.
I hear the morning star, the illumination of wisdom.
Do I want to? You know what? No. Let's throw Wis'adel out here because she's got a hell of a.
I know what you want.
Yeah, look at how she attacks there. That is insanity.
So you racked your brain. No! Who says there's always all the best?
Oh my! Look at that.
I wasn't supposed to. I'll plant you into the soil to grow anew.
I hear the morning star, the illumination of wisdom.
Follow me!
Okay, we're slowing things down.
The Revenant's
Attack.
battling again. No! Who says there's always a countdown?
This is a huge army.
Professor?
Aya, get to work. Have fun.
Where do you wish to go?
Not gonna be much, but hey. Oh my. Oh my! Okay, thank you, Logos. Thank you, Wis'adel, because my word. To have them do the damage that they are doing is absolutely insane. Like, I'm starting to get a much more powerful team, and I can't wait to E2 both of them. Wow, I can't wait. 65 hours into the operation. Wow.
The battle between the Ducal Alliance and the Nashers is brutal. Just farther ahead is Silver Rock Bluffs. The Originium response is intense and the vehicle has already been paralyzed. The Exemplars have a tough task ahead of them. When the size of kings and the sword of the stone become one, we'll be able to see it from our position. Catastrophes be sundered. It's only a myth. When people see things that defy explanation, they tend to exaggerate and romanticize them when passing down those to generations. The size of kings and the shard. The shard is an application of Originium on the same level as large-scale witchcraft devices, and the size of kings is able to neutralize certain Originium reactions. I see you've done your homework. To this day, the people of Terra's best solution to catastrophes has been, and still is, to avoid them. It is incredibly difficult for people to directly intervene in the mechanisms of Originium. The origin of the size of kings lies not in Victoria, right? The first time I saw the size of kings was deep within the palace of the Shahansha in Sargon. People regard it as a symbol of the Aslan's royal authority and believe it can protect any settlement or city. This is indeed true. It is able to neutralize Originium reactions to a certain extent. You don't seem particularly concerned about that caveat. That's right. No matter how much effort the Sargonian casters put into unearthing and retrofitting it, it was nothing but a former city defense device. During the era in which it was put to use, Originium was not yet widely available across the continent. I trust that it will be able to temporarily put a stop to Amnanum and give the Farenwood spine an opportunity to take off, but it is not an inhibitor that can completely seal Originium activity. Have you been disappointed too many times over all these years? Doctor, from your current perspective, what do you think Originium is? A phenomenon brimming with the unknown? A resource to exploit? Or perhaps a source of disaster and disease? I can't say. You don't want to, because your answer would be all of the above. Originium has long been inextricably woven into everything we see. Our environment, our technology, our culture, and even our bodies. If a portion of a limb is necrotic, cutting it off might solve the problem, but what if the problem stretches from beginning to end? There are some people who would see you as omnipotent. Why are you looking at me? Doctor, you asked me if I've ever experienced disappointment. Just once. I allowed myself to become overly dependent on one person and made a series of poor judgments, and paid the price. Are you referring to... But it doesn't mean that I'll stop believing. It is difficult enough to rebel against the very foundations of our origins. To pin your hopes on just one technology, or one person, is utterly unrealistic. Dr. Calcit, please take a look at this! There's a cave up ahead! Someone's concealed the entrance. Crude, twisted. One of the Confessarius illusions. I'm sure we'll find a witchcraft altar at its deepest point. We should get to where the Originium response is the strongest. This level of Originium activation is unprecedented. Logos, you're also infected. Do you feel anything abnormal? How are you feeling, Amia? I like that one. No problem here, Doctor. We have more important things to do right now. I can tough it out. Under the influence of Amnanum, Originium will come closer to its true nature. The crystal clusters will merge with all things, living and dead, at an increasing rate, sealing that data inside in an assimilated form. Originium can only store information within its own structure. As such, any assimilated individuals will completely lose the forms they had in life. Some may see this as nothing more than instantaneous decomposition, just like those who die due to an Oripathy outbreak. There are some parallels. In the case of these patients, after their consciousness disperses, their bodies will disintegrate into highly activated Originium dust over a period of time. Assimilation, on the other hand, condenses this entire process to the extreme. Rhodes Island's technology can only delay cell Originium assimilation rate from reaching a certain threshold. we are not able to truly erect a barrier that can stave off originium. Don't worry too much about that, Doctor. The originium saturation rate in our current environment is far from an extreme level. It's hard for me not to worry. Right now, we can still breathe and move about. If we're quick enough to stop the originium from spreading further, all hope is not yet lost. Dr. Calcit, Doctor, I can hear enemy movements. Logos, please prepare to intercept the enemy.
Whoa! Intruders! It's the Bansheean!
There are quite a few guards, but they're not difficult to manage. There must be greater dangers yet lurking in the shadows, Doctor. Please stay close to us. The interference of Confessarius witchcraft is making it hard for me to pinpoint the exact location, but the blood of Tikaz is undoubtedly nearby. Tikaz's blood roused the first originium from its slumber. Over the millennia, the fate of the Sarkaz has been tangled together with originium. Ami and Logos are suffering, or rather, they've shouldered this pain the entire time just to come this far. What about you, then? You think of all the times Calcit had to suppress the words she wished to say. You are not only a witness and a bystander. Surely you share a deeper connection with originium, with this war, and with everything that's been going on. This is the blood of Tikaz. Dukaria's obsession. This so-called pure blood is free of impurities. By itself, it possesses no inherent power. Amiya, cut off its connection to the altar. Got it. Wait. Dr. Calcit? Monster, attack the corpse of that guard over there. Howls. There's another monster? No, there's more than just one. All those defeated Confessarius guards weren't real guards at all. Near-perfect replicas. Only he could decorate this cave to look nearly identical to a real altar. This was a trap designed to lure us in. Damazdi. Hamiya, get behind me! Furious howl. Monster stands in front of you, and you grip Amiya's hand tightly. The blood of Tikaz is collapsing along with the entire altar, the surrounding rock walls pressing ever closer.
Interesting. The illusion is no more, but the shifting terrain is real. The real altar must still be functioning. Originium continues to grow and it will soon consume everything you see. Doctor! The Confessari's den. We seem to have fallen to the deepest level of the false altar. The Originium was shifting too fast and I only had time to grab onto you. I don't know where Dr. Calcit and Logos are. There's too much Originium here, too much information. I can't sense them at all. They're probably far away by now. I want to stop us from destroying the altar, but you might be the Confessari's real target. What they want is the king of the Sarkaz. The ground is still shaking. Are the crystal clusters still spreading? Wait, that's... A monster suddenly crawls forth from the Originium's depths. The horns of a Wendigo, the body of a gargoyle, the flames of a Diablo. You have seen these before in the Confessari stone sculptures of the various Sarkaz tribes, but never before sharing the same body. His emotions are chaotic. I see only memories, fragmented, blurry, and mashed together. Amiya, over there! Oh no. There will be many more, Doctor. This is the cave that gave birth to them. The Confessari sculpted them from Sarkaz blood and Originium, and gave birth to these creatures. Amiya. They're alive, Doctor. They aren't chunks of rock or constructs of witchcraft. They're living beings, but they obey only the call of the Confessarius. They do not feel any pain, nor do they cry for their fate. People would normally call these creatures monsters. That's right, monsters. Or alternatively, chimeras. Who are you even mourning for? For these mindless kin, or for yourself, the chimera forced to wear a crown? The fight is about to begin. Amiya, are you being affected in any way? Doctor, I won't let the Confessari trap me a second time. I'm not so fragile as to let these illusions and nightmares get to me. That name, Chimera, is no different from those dream interrogations. I've heard it many times before.
I have no right to be here if I let myself get shaken by that. Beyond that, however, I swore that I'd never let my immaturity drag you down again. A tiny crown appears above the head of the goddess girl. Black lines interweave and take form between her fingers. Your connection with the king is deepening. Perhaps, but it might not be enough.
Amia. Amia! Don't be in such a hurry to leave. These clones are nothing before my incantations, Damasti. Or, as you once put it, it is time wasted. We remember that performance and that stroll. We talked for quite some time. That day you at least still considered yourself a lord of the royal court, despite having a different appearance. What are you now? We try to take on different identities. But these varying journeys have yet to provide us with an answer. What we conclude is, the path has neither beginning nor end. It is a cycle. And you sought out death to prove it. At death's end is nothingness. The myriad souls you speak of have said nothing to us. Banshee, how did it feel to sound the bone whistle for us? Shatter. There's no end to them. This is all you can muster. You've lost a lot of bite after your first death. A clone destroyed by the incantation does not dissipate into nothingness as before. Instead, that body simply collapses, sinking into the originium tides until it quickly disappears without a trace. From it, a hand resembling a withered branch extends from within the crystal cluster. Sudarum. Banshee, you once killed me as well. On the battlefield, I am not one of you. In Wis'adel, I was ordered to kill those who betrayed the royal court. You got in my way and separated my head from my shoulders with your incantations. You were but a child then, with a puerile voice. I remember you. The traitors you mentioned were a family of 3 who wanted to flee Wis'adel in search of a peaceful life. They swore an oath of fealty to the royal court. The royal court should never be held above ordinary sarcasm. You may have been a war hero to Wis'adel once, but I cannot allow you to slaughter civilians. So you chose Babel and Teresa, all for the sake of your so-called ordinary sarcasm. That is the righteous path to the future. But even after she died, you still didn't return to Wis'adel. You even helped those outsiders steal away the King of Sarkaz. The inheritance of the King of Sarkaz was a decision made by Her Highness Teresa. You killed me with your own hands, when your incantations were coiling around my heart, strangling it. I couldn't believe it. After fighting alongside each other for so many years, whatever you felt towards me paled in comparison to those outsiders. The potted golden grass you left behind on the ship is growing well now. After Her Highness's death, how many comrades did you slay with your own hands during the internal strife that engulfed Babel? The belongings left behind by so many people, I'm sure there's enough of them to fill your whole room, huh? Do you feel sorrow every time you look at that patch of grass I planted in that pot on a whim? If I were to feel sorrow, it would be because even death has denied you the solace you deserve. Damasti, you were never so keen to dress yourself up as the dead before. This exchange of words cannot provide you with my answers, nor can probing my emotions. The dead do not respond. They continue to emerge from the dark crystal clusters. Many faces, some familiar, others not, all of them sarcasm. Your innate abilities are resonating with the information stored inside the Originium. Seeing as how your powers have grown thanks to the Originium. Logos raises one hand. No incantations are needed, just a low humming sound from the vibrating of the rock walls. In a heartbeat, all the Damasti's clones are shattered. Just as expected. There's one left, the very last one. It's you. The vampire stands there in the cave's depths, his expression almost identical to when he stood atop the Fairmouth's skull that day. However, it is no longer fresh blood that rolls around him as before, but rather clusters of Originium crystals. Logos can feel the blood in his body stirring. The sanguinarch of vampires. Dukariel. You're not like the others. I know this. You are not one of the Damasti's avatars.
Wait, but didn't they say before that he already killed him? Lord Damasti, this portion of you decided to assist Sartustage. I tried looking that up real quick, how to pronounce that. I can't find it. So I'm just gonna try that. No, we have no interest in helping anyone in particular. We are simply searching for answers. Calcit, we have met you before, when the Sarkaz were not yet Sarkaz. You walked across us. I have no recollection of any such meeting. At that time, we were unable to speak. And then, the first king of Tikaz came in contact with Originium. That was our first awakening. The first individual rose up from among us. We felt one another. We had existed for an unknown amount of time before that. It was only at that moment when we became aware of our existence, because we began to think. Originium will assimilate all life forms it comes into contact with. Not just you, but also the original vampires, banshees, and wendigos. All Tikaz have changed. You are approaching the form of another entity that once existed on this land. Then, what are you? Howls agitatedly. I don't blame you, monster. It seems extremely averse to seeing another self. Calcit, the immortal. Do you still remember what you looked like at first? The immortal is a figment of certain people's imaginations and a misrepresentation of myself. Time leaves its marks upon me all the same. The original entity by the name of Calcit has been lost beneath the golden sands. Long lost beneath the golden sands. But you are still yourself. We were watching as you were reborn at Teresa's side. You are different from your previous self, from your appearance to your personality. We are used to constant change for the sake of survival. Among the Sarkaz, the Damasti cluster is unique. We once thought that you were like us. We know how many Calcit, just as Calcit knows how many of us. However, we will always be a whole. Each Damasti is a receptor for us to feel this land. But Calcit is a different. Each Calcit is still you. I do believe that to be true. Why? Is it the inheritance of memory that makes you so persistent? Memory can easily be tampered with and implanted. This we know, for many long-lived beings have tried such methods. Such immortality is nothing but an empty lie. Then is it some kind of duty? I won't deny that my life has been duty-bound from the moment I was born. Looking back, I don't think I've ever truly been alive. The substances that make up your body have all been replaced. The memories inherited from your previous self are unreliable. The mission imposed upon you may not even be your own. Calcit, what is it that kept the continuity of you across these thousands of years? A name. A unique name or a title. It is a question that so many emotionally deprived Sarkaz would be keenly interested in. This name has many meanings. The person who gave me this name and the people I care about are now in danger. This isn't the time for us to be having this chat. We did not expect you to be this sentimental. Monster. Excited howl. Monster's like, I'm taking care of this piece of shit. I'm done.
Your face just
Let's
now,
go, Monster.
It seems the expression folds of a feather flock together is indeed true.
It is indeed true, Madam Degenbrecher. All right, so that's it for this episode. We're going to wrap up right there. We got 4 more stages accomplished, and I feel good about it. And it's very interesting because we spent a good bit of time with Siege's group. We spent some time with W. We saw her outfit change to Wis'adel, or what we see as Wis'adel. She's still W for now. She doesn't have her name yet, but she'll get that soon. However, we have seen different groups, a push forward with each of the different groups' stories, including now, towards the very end here, we get to see Doctor and Amia separated from everybody and see them going in one direction, Logos separated and going in another direction, and now Calcit separated and going in another direction. Each one of those 3 has their own separate challenge. They're all separated now, so we have 3 groups out of 1 there. Siege's group, and then, of course, we still have W, HOEDERER, and Inez, all kind of separated, but still in the same realm. And we also see HOEDERER got hurt, possibly pretty badly.
by Manfred. So there is a lot of story stretching out here and a lot of really cool bits to come up. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully they'll be able to get the life bone off the ground, and hopefully Dr. and Amia, Logos, and Calcid all come together again and can continue their portion of the mission. But there's a lot of awesome stuff to come, and I'm very, very excited to play more. Maybe next episode we'll make it a little bit longer, but I just had to cut it short now. Only 4 parts just because of lack of time. But we're done with 4-8. We've got through 23, I believe, or 14-8, I should say. So 14-23 is the end. So we've got 13, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We got 15 more to go. So we'll have a couple more episodes worth of this, and I'm very, very excited to continue and to wrap up this story. In the meantime, I'm going to continue working how I can to upgrade all my operators as best as I possibly can. And from there, hopefully continue to increase everybody's potential and their abilities, bump everybody up, make everything a little bit better, a little bit stronger for them all. And by the end of this, hopefully, we'll have a pretty strong, solid core team with a little bit more powerful Logos and Wis'adel as well. With that being said, guys, that is it for this one. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to hang out with me on my channel and to watch these videos. You guys are all awesome. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, I would appreciate that because it's going to help me to continue to grow. And with that, I will see you guys next time.